preaching water and consuming champagne. As the National Assembly prepares to debate a 5 billion shilling supplementary budget for the Office of the President, questions have emerged over the government's honesty in enforcing austerity measures. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u says President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua have already exhausted their annual budget of 8.64 billion shillings 4 months before the end of the current financial year. The presidency, which includes the Office of the President and that of the Deputy President, is one of the best funded institutions in the country. James Kahonge with the details.
For the government of President William Ruto, it has been a case of indulging expensive champagne on a beer budget. Professor Njuguna Ndung'u says the presidency has already overshot its annual budget by 405 million shillings only 6 months after President William Ruto assumed power. Records from the National Treasury show that the Office of the President went on a spending spree in December last year, withdrawing from the exchequer 2.2 billion shillings against a monthly average of 1.2 billion.
I will not be the president that will continue the journey of taking our country into debt. It's going to be a difficult choice, but I don't see an option. We just have to make those choices.
Expenses by William Ruto State House have more than doubled to 8.85 billion shillings from 4.37 billion shillings that had been approved under President Kenyatta, according to records from the National Treasury. At the same time, the budget for the Office of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua rose to 2.63 billion shillings under the same period.
We have inherited a dilapidated economy that is facing almost an economic shutdown. We have a 10 trillion public debt. 6 million Kenyans have no employment. 14 million Kenyans are in CRB. We have a demoralized public service.
Ironically, the increased expenditure by the two offices coincided with Dr. Ruto's directive to government departments last year to slash expenses by 300 billion shillings to minimize reliance on borrowing to finance recurrent expenditure. This comes as the prices of essential food commodities such as maize flour and cooking oil rise by the day, with 4.3 million Kenyans facing starvation as a raging drought continues to devastate counties.
It's not a simple assignment. It's not an easy thing to do, but I promise you we will do it because it's the right thing to do.
In what is a slap in the face of Kenyans, Ruto and Gachagua are now asking for an additional 5.18 billion shillings in the supplementary budget already before Parliament, which will push their expenditure to 13.83 billion shillings, an increase of about 60%. James Kahonge, NTV.